Alright, what is good, fishing fam? It has been quite a while since I have filmed one of these instructional videos. I was never very good at them. You can tell by the videos and the way I spoke. I thought I was good at them, but I wasn't. But today's video is going to be pretty simple. It should not be hard at all to explain to you guys. So let's just jump right into it. I have 4 baits. Now these, it does not really, it really matters where you live. For this video, I'm really talking about the, maybe mid to high up north, to where the spawn isn't completely done yet. It's getting close, but the bluegill spawn is still in and stuff. It doesn't actually really matter like where you are in the country. These will probably work for you, but let's just jump right into it. No more talk about where you're living or whatever. The very first lure that I would use in the month of June, like this is gonna be my first pick if they're not buying anything else, or I'll even pick this up first sometimes, is going to be a Wacky Rig Senko. Now, I'm not talking about the Wacky Rig where you have a nail weight and you're like hooking it this way instead of that way. This is the simplest Wacky Rig. I like to take a drop shot hook actually. You can take a little hook or something else, whatever. You can take a weedless hook that doesn't actually make it weedless. It's not really helpful, but I like to just take a drop shot hook, and I literally just take a Senko. I just dig it straight through the middle, and it gives it some insane action. It gives it a slightly slower fall rate than the Texas rig. And I like to throw it on a spinning rod. Height and action really doesn't matter. I just would not recommend throwing it on a medium heavy action spinning rod. I would recommend throwing it on a medium or medium light. That's just what I prefer. Length really doesn't matter. It just depends how short or tall you are and how far you want to cast the thing. If you're just pitching it, you want a shorter rod. If you're throwing it out there, you probably want a longer rod. You know what I mean? For line, I would use anywhere from 10 to 20 pound braid. I think this is 20 pound braid right here. It's very thin. The fish really don't see it that well, even though I fish in a lot of clear bodies of water. They just don't see it that well. The gear ratio of the reel does not matter. Just whatever. It has nothing to do with it anymore. I used to be very specific. I'm not going to be as specific anymore. Just really whatever you got. Your favorite spinning rod. Pick it up, throw a Wacky Rig on it, and you're good to go. Now colors. That all depends on your water clarity. If you're fishing in a body of water that is clear and just not muddy at all, like a lot of bodies of water I fish, then a more natural color, green pumpkin, watermelon seed, watermelon, whatever, just something like that that's very natural looking. For your dirty bodies of water, I would go with any bright color or natural color. You don't want to use a bright color in clear water because they're not gonna, it's gonna be a lot more clear than it's not real. It doesn't really matter. You could probably catch them on a bright colored worm in clear water, but I just don't recommend it. That's the first lure. That is the very first lure I picked up in the month of June because it is just tried and true. Probably the best worm style because it has so much action. The very next thing I'm going to pick up, like if it's a cloudy, sunny, hot, cold, whatever, maybe not cold, but hot or cool, it's going to be the Topwater Frog. I fish in a lot of lily pads. Like the places up north where I live are ridiculous, but there's a lot of lily pads here, like a lot, too much. But frog works phenomenal in those. There's a lot of pickerel and toothy critters up here that we can catch frogs on too. It doesn't really matter whatever frog is your favorite. I just usually use these Booyah Pad Crashers in the normal natural color. I do cut their tails to a decent size so that they walk better and they're not chunky looking and whatever, which I guess you probably want for a bigger bass, but whatever. Now for a rod, I like to use a pretty big rod, anywhere from like 7.2 to 7.6. This is 7.6 heavy Favorite Pro series. I really like a heavy powered rod for this because it allows you to get that fish out of the heavy cover quick, because you don't want to be wrapping them up in the weeds, or you don't want that fish wrapping you up in the weeds and you're not being able to get them out with your medium heavy or medium rod. Gear ratio, I like to be able to reel in that fish and torque him in quick, so I have an 8:1 here. This is the Piscifun Torrent 2. It is an amazing reel, and it just feels great in my hand. I like it a lot. For braid, I wouldn't go any less than 50 pound braid. I have 65 pound. I don't actually know what brand this is. I think it might be Power Pro. I have no clue, but this is really strong braid. It's lasted me a while. Braid has no stretch, so you can just absolutely yoink those fish out of lily pads and you're not going to get hung up. You're not gonna, and if you were to use mono or fluorocarbon, then it would not tear through the grass very well. You'd lose a lot of fish. So braid just like cuts through all that stuff and just gets the fish out quick. So that's the most efficient setup for a frog, in my opinion. The third lure I'm gonna pick up is any crankbait, not any crankbait, but any square bill crankbait that has a bluegill pattern on it, like this one. This is the Googan Squad Banger or whatever it's called. And it just works really well in shallow, clear water. Now for the crankbait rod, I used to have this mindset that you had to have a medium, moderate action rod that was at least 6'8" or whatever. But that mindset of mine has really changed. I don't really think it matters that much anymore as long as you're keeping pressure on that fish and you have good quality fluorocarbon. I think fluorocarbon is very important for crankbaits and jerkbaits because it keeps them down where you want. But I don't think it matters as much what rod you're using. I use a 6'6" medium just because I don't want to lose that fish. You can use whatever you got. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna be that guy that's like telling you what rod to use all the time. I'm just giving you options and different opinions on stuff that might work better for you. If something works better for you on any of these lures, comment down below. Let me know what you guys use. I would love to know. But yeah, that is. I don't have much to say about the crankbait. I'm just throwing on a Lewis Classic Speed Stick and a Shimano SLX DC, which is a very, very good reel for $200. I'm using mono on this, which I hate using mono for crankbaits, but it is what it is. I don't have fluorocarbon to put on it right now. Now the fourth and final lure that I use for the month of June. Now you can definitely use more moving baits, but I have found that the spinner baits, chatterbaits, stuff like that doesn't work as well for me in the month of June. It works better towards the beginning of fall to late fall when it starts to get a little chillier and those fish are actively feeding and getting ready to lay down for the winter and get lazy. With this rod, this is like my main rod. This is a 7-foot medium heavy, fast, 7.51 gear ratio. And this is not the number one. None of these are any specific order that are like, I use this the least or whatever. It's just whatever, it's just 1 through 4. The next lure, and this is the lure I'm gonna use when it is deep water, maybe a clear reservoir or maybe a deep pond, muddy, and that is the Texas rigged Senko with a 1/8 ounce, anywhere from I'd say 1/8 to, if I'm fishing in deep water, I'll maybe use 1/4 ounce, but I have an 1/8 ounce tungsten weight here. That is what I like to use for my worms because I can feel the bottom better with that tungsten weight, and it doesn't chip as easy. It's not as it is a smaller form factor. Whoops. And I just use a 3-aught EWG. Nothing crazy at all. Always Texas rig it. Make sure you put that in there and make it nice and weedless. But that is pretty much it for this video. I know this is very short. I don't have much to say. I'm not a fishing scientist. I don't know much about it. Or, that's a lie. I know a lot about it, but I don't know much about what to say about these rods. If you did enjoy this video, if you got anything from it, hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers soon, and I'm on the road to 1,000. I'm almost halfway there, which is just crazy. It's been 2 years since I made this channel, and I've grown this channel crazy. Yeah, I have not posted a lot. I'm gonna post a lot more consistently now because summer's here and I can actually have stuff to do. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.